Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Of course, it's still Monday morning here on Rise and Shine. We're beaming live from Akwa Ibom State. We like to say that it's a Biakoran.
Yeah.
Of course, the beautiful hill is one of the local governments right there. And we're having conversations around issues happening in our country. Quite a number of things that we've discussed. You can catch up on all that. Follow us across all social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the conversation as we are speaking on our website. Today is the International Youth Day, but that's not the conversation, I beg your pardon, that we're about to have now. But we have a very, very outspoken youth. I know he would still refer to himself as a youth, and it's beautiful to see that he took advantage of the not too young to run bill. Yes. And actually sought for, vacancy in the office of the president in the last round of elections. We have Victor and Laju joining us from Lagos this morning. Good morning. Good to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Good morning, Victor.
It's really different to see you in a pair of suits. What's happening in Lagos? Where are we off to? Are you off to the presidency?
Okay, we're having a youth conference today.
Okay, I see.
I see that.
Thank you for making out time to speak with us this morning. You look good. That's why it caught my attention.
Thank you. Thank you.
So today is the 12th day of August. 10 days has gone by. The hashtag End Bad Governance protest is done. It leaves different feelings on the test boards in Nigeria. So I'll first of all ask you, do you think that the protest was successful? Did it achieve the goal? Whilst we will now get into certain responses of the federal government and certain other leaders in the country as regards the protest, overall, do you think that this was successful? Okay.
Yes, I would say it was a huge success for us, and we are all celebrating the success. At least the first thing is that we were able to communicate our demands to the government. At least the government now knows that this is what the younger generation, this is what they are demanding for. As we speak right now, the president knows that, the governors knows that, the senators, all the politicians in Nigeria today have a copy of our demand. They now know this is what the youth are asking for. Now, moving forward is how do we, when I say we, I mean we the young people and those in government, how do we collaborate to empower the youth in Nigeria? That's part of the conference I am having today, right? Because we're doing something more awesome, skill up, that will empower young people. But what I'm saying is that the protest still continues. You might not be seeing us carrying black cards on the street, walking around the streets for us to end bad governance. But in different spaces, we'll be having programs, we'll be having seminars, we'll be having engagement with different politicians, right? Because as it is now, since we have sent out the message, we now have to start working out the message. So end bad governance require both the politicians, both we, the young people, and the older generation. It's not just about the politicians. The politicians take advantage of the judiciary. The judiciary take advantage of the poverty within the system, especially the police, right? Especially the police, to execute some of these their shenanigans. So, bad governance is a general word for everybody. You and I have to do our part. The citizens have their part to play in terms of citizens being able to hold their leaders accountable. Now, when I mean citizens holding their leaders accountable, that means from your local government to your state governor, to your senators, to your House of Rep members, to your House of Assembly members. We, the people, need to hold them accountable. We need to tell them what we want them to do. That is what governance is all about. Like democracy is the system where power belongs to the people. And if the people is not speaking up, that means the politicians will take advantage of them. So the End Bad Governance campaign was just the beginning of the whole campaign of citizens awareness, politicians engagement, governance development program So all of this is just what we'll start doing. So going forward, you start seeing us doing a lot of initiative, coming up, a lot of initiative will be coming up. We'll be engaging, we'll be going to government houses, talking to senators, talking to politicians, engaging political party, their chairman. We need to know what is going on, because Nigeria is what it is today because a lot of us who are the good people fold our hands. We're doing nothing. We're less concerned about what was happening within our political space. We're less concerned about what goes on within the government houses. But now, with this sensitization, with this campaign, the End Bad Governance campaign, we'll be able to take these messages to public offices, government offices, civil servant offices. We'll need to start engaging people right now outside the politicians that we see on screen every day. There are people who work for the politicians, the Accountant General, the Justice, all of this, the police commissioner. We need to start holding those ones accountable, right? Because the truth about it is that only the governors alone or the president cannot fix this country, right? But we know that the direction and leadership falls on their table. They have to be willing. But right now, whether they're willing or not, we the people, we have to make them to become willing. And that's what the End Bad Governance campaign is really all about.
No, I'm a little bit concerned because you would think that after what happened in 2020, the Nigerian government would have, changed in governance. But after the NSAS protest in 2020, we are still seeing that even most of the demands that we made in 2020 NSAS protest has not been met. And you've made mention that everyone is going to get involved. You are going to meet some people, the police commissions, and everyone's hands should be on deck. Do you think that this is going to affect or work in favor of the demands that has just been made in the last 10 days?
So one of the good things is that at least we now have a direction. We have a direction. We now know what we want. We now know where we are going to. Now, the truth about it is that it will be a failure on our own part, thinking that the politicians will use their initiative to do things that will favor the people. Right? At least I have contested in elections. Majority of Nigerian politicians don't do things what will favor the people. They do what will favor them, right? But we, the people, we have the power to hold these politicians accountable. We have the power to show up in their offices, to show up and let them know what the people want. I want to encourage every local government, show up, meet your local government chairman, and ask them, what are they doing with your money that is being allocated to your local government? Go to your house of assembly, hear them. At least they have system where you can come in and listen to what they are saying. We need that engagement. You see, the politicians, an average Nigerian politician, will never make a decision for the good of the people. That's just the truth. So I think we have to grow as citizens to understand that if we are not on the neck, my word, of these politicians, they are not going to do the needful, especially with the young people. If we are waiting that these old men one day we smile on us, I don't think so. They don't have the capacity. They even don't have the initiative. Now, before I used to think, okay, they don't want to do it. They don't even know what to do. I've engaged a lot of them, and they are still asking, what does the youth want? And they are telling you, let's give them money. And I always tell them, it's not money.
Yeah.
Create a system. When you create a system that when we work in that system, we will earn money. Now, let's look at it. Why do you think a lot of young people these days, right, the youth, are going into Yahoo and the rest? It's not because they want to do that, but the system has been built so that they will be able to cash out according to them. So why don't we use that kind of model to create a system where, as you engage yourself as a young person, because these boys, they don't sleep. They are always sending messages. They call it bombing. Right? They are always bombing. Right? So if we have a government system that engages the young people, and with that system, you'll be able to pay your bills, you'll be able to fund your lifestyle, you'll be able to educate yourself, this whole thing will happen. But thinking that the people leading us, they have this initiative, they don't have the initiative. And that is why somebody like myself decided to run for the office, because I have the idea, I have the initiative, I have the passion, I have the capacity to make sure that an average Nigerian youth today is helped. Right? So that's where we are coming from. But like I said before, to think that politicians will take the initiative to do the right thing, they don't have the will, they don't have the idea. So we, the people, we have to put great demands on the politicians so that they will do the right thing. And we're also begging the judiciary system and the armed forces, those who enforce the law, to be able to back us up, not trying to defend or protect the politicians, because that's what we saw during these End Bad Governance protests, where the policemen are trying to defend a politician that is stealing the wealth of the people. Now you are arresting innocent youths that is asking for their life to be better because of a politician that is stealing the wealth. Rather, you are supposed to be arresting the politicians. You are supposed to be on the neck of the politician. Have young people occupying the streets, right? So like I said, if the politicians are doing what they are supposed to do, we will not have young people occupying the streets. We will not have young people protesting. We don't even want to protest. We don't even like it. We don't even want to put out. We want to be engaged.
So, Victor, one of the things that we must, have as a matter of urgency is a conversation of the way forward. Just as, you've started saying, if the protest has been done 10 days and then everybody goes back home and folds their hand, then we cannot, the impact is not going to be futuristic. One of the things that we've seen as a response from the federal government is that they have set up, a community engagement floor for Nigerians, for the president to engage with citizens. Now, they actually appointed 6 persons across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country and asked them to go back to their different geopolitical zones and their community and generate feedback from their people, so that the presidency will not be able to say they do not know what the youths actually need. Now, one of the things people really pushed during this protest was, let's open a platform for dialogue. The federal government has gone on with a community engagement. Do you think that the youth of the country has what it takes to dialogue with the federal government and actually get results? And in having this community engagement, is it just another pseudo activity to appease the teeming youth, or they will actually do something with the feedback?
So the truth about it is that the APC-led government has not been forthcoming. They have not been sincere. That's just my pain. I hate to always call them out, but it is what it is. In Nigeria today, you have well over 140, 120 million youth. At least the youth population in Nigeria today, we are over 75% of Nigeria's population. Nigeria has over 200 million people. So the youth could give you like 120 or 130. And you are picking 6 people from each geopolitical zone. So let's say you have 36 youths, do for a state. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is a functioning system that you don't need one person. I don't need to know any person in government. I can only go to a place, maybe in my ward or in my local government, as a young person to register. And as soon as I register, I'll either be given a skill, to learn, or if I have a skill, I'll be given a place to work. That is as simple as it is. If you really and truly want to empower the young people, what are you picking 6 people for? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I want to say, on the side of the youth, we know what we want. We know what can be done. But on the side of the APC-led government, they are not sincere. They don't know what to do. Always we say it. One of the biggest problems with APC is that they don't know what to do, and they don't come out to say, we don't know what to do. Can we get assistance? Can we get people to come on board to give us ideas? And me, I can do this thing free of charge.
But then,
I don't need anybody to pay
Victor, Victor, the president has an overbloated cabinet, 49 men and women who are available for him across different fields and sectors of the economy. So we cannot say that all of them put together are bereft of ideas on how to move the country forward.
They don't know what to do. Okay, let me ask you now, what is their blueprint? What is their plan? If you can give me word for word on the plan on how to empower at least, let's say for example now, we have 100 million youth. The government does not have a system or a scheme or a program that can empower these 100 million youths. So what we want to hear is, what is the plan on ground? You can have 100,000 people working with you. We're not seeing the plan. We're not even seeing the effect. So that's where I'm saying that we have to create a system. The youth are ready to work with the government, but the government don't have plans, don't have a scheme, don't have program, right? You cannot tell me that the president was able to call for a meeting to meet with the traditional ruler within 2 days, but to implement something that will empower the young people, you cannot call for that kind of meeting. And for me, what I would have thought I would have been seeing right now is the government rolling out an empowerment program. Right, but for us now, we are not waiting for the government anymore. So what we have decided to do now, we are creating the scheme. We are going to go into PPP, private and public partnership, for youth empowerment. That's what myself and my team have decided to do. So when we meet the government to be part of it, we'll meet private organizations to be part of it. Because the truth about it, there's so much talk here and there, so much portfolio, so much people trying to play politics. You cannot be playing politics with the life of people. ABC, they are good at playing politics. I give that to them. But leadership, they are zero. So you can do politics from now to tomorrow, show off, put people on screen, do propaganda. But of what impact is it? Will that build road? Will people eat on propaganda? Will people pay their bills on propaganda? Will you use politics to pay bills? So that's what we're talking about. All right, because if the people are not feeling the effect of the government, they will go back to the streets. And all right, believe Victor, me, if we don't get what we want, we'll still come back to the streets.
Victor, let me just take you back a little bit, because you've talked about the way forward, and I want to ask you, is there a structured system from the protesters that will address this issue? 10 days is over. Are they going back to sleep in their houses, or will they follow? Is there a structure that they will ensure that they reach out to the people involved that they will be making, just like what you mentioned, they will reach out to the local government chairman, they will reach out to their House of Reps members, to their senators? Do the protesters across all the states in the country, do they have a structure that will address this even days after the protest has been made? Because sometimes we see that once this protest is over, everyone goes back to to their bedroom until the nation is hard again. Is there a structure? Do people have a system that will follow up the demands of this?
So a structure is being built up as we speak right now. We are building up that structure. Cross the 36 states and Abuja. So just like I said, the engagement for the protest has been done, and the protest is not over. So people should stop saying that the protest is over. No, the youth are still asking the government and still bringing forth their demand, right? But now we are doing it in more organized way, right? And in more appealing way. So you might not be hearing bad governance, right? Because it looked like war. It looked like we want to fight war, right? We might have to present it in a more better way, like upskill. That way we cannot use it to engage. At this time, when we talk about engage, we're not looking about something that is violent. We're looking about something that is structured and well tailored towards development, right? So that's the way we're looking at it. So, but like as I speak with you now, there are systems that are being built, there are structures that are being built cross all board, starting from the ward, from every ward down to the local government, from the local government down to the state government, and down to federal. Okay, because the end bad governance protest or project is not about the presidency, but we needed to speak to the top so that it can flow down right? But when we want to start implementing, we'll start from bottom to the top, right?
Okay.
Because we want people to feel good governance direct from their community, right? So what we are saying is that when you take out the bad, you must replace it with the good. So taking out the bad, if you don't replace it with something good, the bad will definitely come back. So, and for us to have that good, we have to have a structure, and that's what we're doing right now.
All right.
And like I told you, today we're having meetings. In fact, since last week, we've already started having meetings. So you will start seeing some initiative being rolled out in partnership with not just the government, but also with private sectors. You have some of us who are individuals who are already young entrepreneurs like myself, who will also champion some of these initiatives, right?
All right.
We believe that we will use this process to fizzle out bad governance and bring in good governance. Thank you.
All right, so just to wrap up the conversation with you this morning, you said something in your last response. And part of the fears concerning these hashtag end bad governance from the part of the government was we don't want, the youths to foster anarchy in the country. And it's something that's worthy of note was that the protest was not asking for the removal of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu or any of the governors for that matter. People were just saying we are hungry, we are suffering, reverse, the policies that have given birth to this high cost of living in the country. But we see that a former national vice chairman, Northwest, of the APC, a member of their own caucus, Saliu Lukman, is saying that, this particular hunger protest is enough ground for members of cabinet, for the members of the Senate, House of Representatives to push for the impeachment of some governors and even the presidency. On an average where it's like there's a large-scale nationwide grading and we are all saying this government is not doing well. But you as a political person also, we know that impeachments don't work in Nigeria. But through the lens of Lukman, do you even think that moving for the impeachment of some of our non-performing governors and even the opinion of Nigerians, the president is not performing, do you think that an impeachment would have been a way to go to bring us, closer to the answers for the demands of the protesters? Victor, are you able to hear me?
No, the truth about it is that nobody is above impeachment. So if you are not doing well as a president or as a I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Go ahead.
Can
go
you hear
ahead.
me?
Go ahead. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So nobody is above impeachment. Nobody is above impeachment. They should be removed from office, right? So there's nothing wrong if anybody is calling for anybody to be impeached, right? So my only advice to the politicians is for them to wake up and do their work, and are getting more involved.
All right.
And let me say this in total: the end bad governance protests, and like I said, has not come to an end. That's just the beginning. So if you fail to do your is to impeach you. So those politicians who are occupying political offices who are not working should get ready to be impeached. We are ready to take it to that level. And any military force or any police force that want to stop us from our constitutional rights, they will have themselves to be blamed. We are not going to sit down and watch our country go down.
All right.
And so that option cannot leave the table. Impeachment is always there. It's not just we bringing it. This is what the Constitution provides for us. That if you vote in or somebody is occupying a political office and he or she is not doing their duty, that person should be impeached. So we are 100% in support of that. If you don't do your duty, you'll be impeached.
All right, thank you so much.
So wake up now and start doing your duty.
Thank you so much, Victor and Laju, for coming, to the conversation this morning. Of course, we know that impeachment is not a trade that will happen on the street. We'll go by the constitutional wrongs through our houses of representatives. Thank you so much, Victor and Laju, of course, founder of IPE himself, of course, a youth advocate and voice of the youth. Thank you so much for coming on Rise and Shine and reviewing the protest so far. Thank you.